Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Rune here, back with another Wonderlands build video, and today we will be going over my Clawstalker melee build, Clawssault and Daggery. Now this is, again, a melee build that focuses on the Assault and Battery weapon, which came out in DLC 2, and chaining the crit effect with Shadow Step, which is after you get a kill, your next melee hit gets a crit. So that is just constant dagger storms, and it's tons of fun. And then you also throw a hammer, and yeah, it's just great. And I love the play style of it, and it feels a little different than other melee builds because you kind of have to focus on when you get a kill, whereas other melee builds are like you just kill whenever you can. So that's why I really like it. Alright, and for the gear, here we have a Primordial Scalawag. This is going to be our main melee weapon we shoot. It's got a melee blade and the melee crossbows, which makes it a really good weapon for melee damage stuff. We have ×2, so you shoot out more bolts. Also does really good damage, so that's just good as well. This will be really good for boosting our hammer and our Assault and Battery dagger storms. That's why I don't use the live wire, because the live wire won't boost our hammer and our dagger storms, which is like the main damage source. This will only affect our additional hit, but we have it here just because if you want to use it. And then we have a Sword Explosion enchant, kind of just all around. This is just for bosses that you can't melee. Like, I use this on a Melta. It's perfect gear stuff. I have these Shark's Veins with it as well. Just so I personally can get them done as fast as possible because I don't like them. But lower ones work as well. It'll just take a bit longer. But yeah, Sword Explosion with Shark's Veins with gun damage and shotgun crit damage is my bossing for enemies you can't melee. And then we have a Stabbomancer for ranged enemies, because that's pretty nice. I have Spellcast all damage just because that's the enchant I have on it at the moment. And then the Assault and Battery, I have Ascended ones here that I made because I just wanted the most damage possible on this. We used the consec hits damage for a pure molt. We used Vampire to help with survivability and to keep up amnesia, which we do use. But yeah, this is what I use. I like using fire the most just because it's a common health bar. But you can't. But I would, if you don't want to use fire, you could also use lightning, which is another common one I use. And then here for the shield, we use a body rune. We used a Well Health is Full. This is also kept up by Vampire. Conditional damage, which is only additive with Follow Up, which is only our melee hit. So it's just nice to have for other things. Body range is good survivability and good damage. Here we use Shark Lessons Rings again. Spell Radius again for our sigil shields or sigil spells. But if you don't care about the radius, then you can just throw in another melee crit damage. Here we use a Barbaload because we're going to be using crossbolts, which is really nice for spreading out damage to other enemies. Here I use lightning damage and clawbringer power, mainly for hammer. Stabbo power doesn't do anything for us here, so is what we have here. I like to use status effect damage to go with alchemical agent, and contagion, which is really nice. You could use all damage as well. And then if you want to focus more on the damage of your melee hit and dagger storms, you'd match the element on your Barbaload to your melee weapon. But I'm very biased towards having hammer doing more damage, so I use lightning damage. Here you can either use a fortifying sigil or an empowering sigil. Fortifying sigil is good survivability. Empowering sigil is also really nice, but I like the healing that you get from the fortifying sigil, so I use that instead. So yeah, either one works. Could use a Smithy's Ire, but it probably wouldn't do that good of damage. Marshmallow, it's nice. It matched up with Livewire for those enemies you can't really hit. Here for the armor, we have Selective Amnesia, Clawbringer Stabbo Power for Awe, and this is, I think, Nimble Fingers? Yeah, Nimble Fingers. I use melee damage and move speed because that's good for melee hit. The area damage is just for hammer because, again, biased towards the hammer having more damage. That'll just be a pure molt. You could have all damage on there instead. Yeah, that's what I have here. And yeah, that is it for the gear. And then for the skill tree, you'll see we go to Awe and Alchemical Agent. Here we have Oath of Thunder for melee. Oath of Fire because there's nothing really else to put, and it'll boost our gun a little bit more with damage. Dragon Aura, Blast with Favor, Rebuke to get down the tree. Firebolt and Storm's Breath, Awe because it's amazing. And then Indomitable for survivability. Here we go. Haste, Potent Poisons, Exploit their weaknesses. Follow Up because, again, we're shooting a gun. Nimble Fingers is really good for fire rate. Shadow Step because we are chaining Shadow Step to proc the Assault and Battery melee hit, which is really, really good. Elusive for survivability. Contagion because it's good damage still, even if it only procs once. And then Alchemical Agent because it double dips the dots. So yeah. And then here we go for max strength, max spell cooldown, and then the rest in the stat spec damage. We go max cooldown for Fortifying Sigil. You don't really need it if you go empowering. But yeah, once I swapped to empowering, Fortifying, I noticed that my cooldown was really long, so I put points into intelligence instead of going dexterity or wisdom. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. Tons of fun. Definitely recommend the save file will be in the Discord, which will be linked down below. And yeah, if you haven't, make sure to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.